how's everyone doing? I hope everyone's doing really well today. Today we are going to try to make homemade butter. It's kind of like the bread where we've got fingers crossed, hoping it all works out. It's fingers crossed for me that it all works out. Because what would be better to go with homemade bread than homemade butter? Let's get to it. It's time for another episode of Cooking with Kaitlin. That's me. Enjoy. All right, so we're starting with 2 cups or 1 pint of heavy whipping cream. So we're pouring into this. I'm gonna get my spatula, get it all out. And I know you could just buy butter, it's no big deal, but why not try? I've heard good things about it. I've had homemade or, kind of freshly made butters that are so delish. And while it's probably not the most common of things to need to do, certainly buy most of my butter, it's nice to know if it works, that it works, and how to do it for those special occasions when perhaps we want some homemade butter. Can you guys see? And we're going to add 2 tablespoons of whole milk yogurt to this. Here we go. No, that's probably not where I was supposed to put it, but whatever. All right. Top that. And then we're just gonna gently stir and combine till it's all nicely combined. And then we're gonna cover this and let it sit out for a few hours. They recommend around 4 hours sitting out. All right. Just making sure it's all nicely combined there. We'll cover it and we'll check back in a few hours. All right. So we have let it sit for the 4 hours. Put it into the stand fully. We're supposed to beat it, as you see. Here. And we're supposed to just keep beating. I'm going to go up just a little bit until it starts to separate the fat that becomes, the butter from kind of the liquid, which is basically buttermilk. So we're going to just keep doing that. We will check back as it separates. All right, so kind of let it do slow at first, and then I've increased the speed steadily. It gets to look like whipped cream for a while because, well, you are beating whipping cream. But it's also got that yogurt cold train, so we're starting to see the texture change. So just wanted you guys to be able to see that. While it's kind of beating it and doing all its thing to separate it out, it's really interesting to watch that change. So just wanted y'all to be aware, but for a while it just looked like we were beating the stuff. Right. All right. Do you see? I mean, this has only been a few seconds because I just needed to cover. So we've got all this buttermilk and stuff in the middle. So I'm going to pour that off. Sit tight. All right. So just, well, that can kind of awkwardly stay. Kind of. If any of the little butter lumps go out, because I just lost one, pick it back up and put it in there. We're going to keep repeating this little process for a bit. No! That delicious butter. All right. So we put it back down in there. Now we keep going with it till it gets all that moisture out. I'm just making sure I got all the buttery bits out of the buttermilk. And my hands are clean. All right, so we'll check back in a sec. All right, once you've done and you've poured and have kept doing and no more excess liquid's coming off, you're supposed to put half a cup of water in there because it's supposed to make for darn sure that that there's no excess liquid, and then we'll pour the water off. Though you wouldn't put it in with your buttermilk because it's really just water, buttery water. Just doing that. Sorry guys, just trying to keep it from splashing everywhere, but also then kind of like letting you see. All right, check back in a sec. All right, now they recommend just squeezing the butter to make sure you got all your moisture out, and wearing gloves while doing so. Kind of kneading it, as it were. Just making sure I'm not seeing anything, but I am definitely glad I wore gloves for this. Might need to wear gloves more often for some of my baking. All right, and actually, I don't know why I'm doing this because I have to do one other thing, so sit tight. All right, so it's just supposed to be a little bit of fine salt sprinkled in there. And then you're just combining it. If you wanted to add in herbs or something, if you were having this for a specific occasion, or you just know you're going to use that herb or what have you, or spice, whatever, honey, butter kind of thing you wanted to use it for. But if you're just keeping it as kind of your regular butter, then just a little bit of that salt, about a quarter teaspoon, just some shakes. Then we'll just move it into its container. But there it is. Bon appetit. See you later. I realized, since I talked about the bread we just did for the butter, take some of our butter, put it on some of our bread. But I might have heated up a little so that it does just this. Melts quite nicely. So just have us our homemade bread and our homemade butter. Bon appetit. See you later.